My question sort of centres around our squad depth or lack of. Now, obviously, I'm a little bit concerned that we don't have enough players, first team players or substitutes that can come off the bench and do a job. Now, looking at it, obviously, we've got the squad we've got at the moment, but there are potential outgoings with the likes of Curtis Jones and potentially Gakpo. Now, some of that's going to depend on also whether we get in the likes of Barcola. And I think if we get Barcola in, then Gakpo goes. I think Curtis Jones will definitely go to Inter Milan. So that's sort of two players all out of the squad that we've already got. Now, I was looking at what players we have in the squad. We have 41 players at the moment. That also includes academy players.
Right.
So 41 with academy players, not with academy players as extras. Out of those 41, we have 16 players that predominantly won't get any Premier League minutes, which gives us a squad depth of 25 first team players potentially.
Yeah.
For me, I don't believe that's enough. So how do we go about increasing that without really spending too much money, and whether you feel that the squad is deep enough or not deep enough? I'd like your take on it, guys.
Who do you want to go to first?
So we've got to Az first.
Yeah. Those figures are actually quite shocking for a team of our stature and our ambition. I think it depends on one of two things, whether we think that the squad depth is enough, and that's really what is our ambition for this season. If our ambition is to challenge and really go for the title, then not only do we have a lack of players, but also the depth that we do have, none of them are really pushing for a first team spot. So I think you need a combination of two things. You need depth, but you need that depth to be really good quality. Yeah. I spoke earlier in the morning on your show about Diogo Jota, rest in peace, who effectively was pushing Mohamed Salah, Sadio Mane, and Bobby Firmino for a starting berth, and he was our bench player. That's why we were so good, because we had players who could instantly step in and keep the machine running. Right now, I don't think we have the numbers, but I still don't think we have the quality, even in the numbers that we do have. To address it without spending money, I don't really know in this day and age how you manage to do that, unless you had an academy churning out 3 or 4 really bright prospects. Trenioni looks good. I have been relatively impressed by Luis Kumas, but again, I don't think he's a top half Premier League player, at least not yet. So our options really might be to wait and see if some of the younger players we do have can really develop into that, and can Liverpool replace the more senior players when they do go off in the right way. It's going to be a project build, and for me, if I was sat in FSG's shoes, I'm not expecting a title push. I'm expecting a top 4 finish, keep us comfortable, keep us competitive, and we'll build towards another project, which is winning a Premier League or a Champions League. But that should be for the future and not thinking right now.
Yeah, to break.
I think for me, also not only about the squad depth, but also the fact that out of those 25 players, how many players in those 25 that we have that potentially quite injury prone? So if those players do go off injured, we're now whittled it down to, let's say, 20. That's not enough to push to get top 4 finish and do well in the Champions League. And obviously we know in the sort of the domestic cups that they want to use some of the academy players, as well as, let's say, the fringe players that are trying to push for a first team. But it just leaves us very, very, very short. So, Brace, what do you think about it?
Exactly the same. What as has kind of mentioned. I think when we were in the final against Chelsea, where we were forced to play our kids or our academy players, and we beat Chelsea. And at the time, if you can look in terms of Klopp's, main strength was man management and also making players better. And if he felt that the players that played in the final, he couldn't make better for whatever reason, and we had to ship off all of those players, then that says something. We could easily name 15, 16 players that we think are good enough at this present moment in time. And really, exactly what Az is saying, like, we are not going for a title challenge, which kind of may sound very defeatist, but we have to be honest here. It's a total transition. But if we're looking to bolster the squad, we have to spend money. If we're not willing to spend money on positions that most of us know that we should be strengthening, then what else are they seeing? Jacques has come in and an amazing debut. I'm not saying that there's no one in the academy that could do something similar, but we've spent close to £70 million on him. And same with Nunos. Yeah. How much did we spend from about 40 million?
No, it's more than that, wasn't he?
I thought it was 35. We had him
was he?
do his release clause.
Okay.
I'll double check that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And again, in terms of what I've seen, amazing pace. Is final ball not great. I'm sure we've got someone in the academy with similar attributes. So I think we have spoken about this on numerous occasions. It's all about where you are in the table rather than necessarily winning the Premier League, because from first to fourth, you are getting over 100 million, and like with like that money, it's not necessarily they are going to pull it into the academy. They are probably looking to spend that on like the next teenager from Spain, France, Germany, wherever it is. Which is okay, interesting, but we all like homegrown players. And again, at this present moment in time, I just don't think our squad is strong enough to be competing with the likes of Arsenal and Chelsea, and Chelsea, and even at Man City. So it's going to be a very interesting, I'd say, half a season, and actually, let's see if we can bolster up the team in that January. But I am slightly concerned. I'm kind of shocked. I didn't think we was going to go and spend the amount of money we did last summer, but I did think we would have had a busier transfer window than what we've had. I think the four of us could sit here at the back end of last season going, right, we need a right back, we need a centre back, we need a right mid winger, we need a striker because Ekitike's out, etc., etc. None of those positions have really unfolded. We've got Aruja in, or however you pronounce it, as a centre back, and he can cover at right back, so that kind of sort of does help a bit. And I must say he did look good yesterday as well from the minutes he played. But and again, that number 6 role seems like we just not interested in getting a 6 in. If Barcola happens, is he the true replacement for Mo Salah? For me, he isn't. For starters, he's on the wrong side of the pitch. And the fact that they're ignoring going to get a striker. Now, I understand you don't want to go and spend big money on a striker, because when Ekitike's back and you've got Isak, you've got 2 fantastic strikers. So you can't go and get another great striker who's going to be happy to sit on the bench when those 2 are fit. So, but to have no cover at all, surely there's someone out there 30-ish looking for a club who just gives a bit of cover, because if Isak goes down, we're playing Chiesa up front, or Gakpo goes to Spurs, then who you putting up front? So that's a concern for me. And just to quickly jump back to what Tabrice was talking about with the youngsters and the academy, we've got one of the most modern academies and training with the AXA Training Centre. Why aren't we producing youngsters who are getting into that team? Now, are we just producing youngsters to sell on for profit? Or where's these? When was the last time Liverpool didn't have a Scouser in the team? Curtis Jones is going to Milan. Definitely. That will happen before the window shuts. I'll be really surprised if it doesn't. With him gone, I think there's just... Is it Dan's left, who's a Scouser?
Yeah.
That's shocking.
Yeah.
To have no homegrown talent and local talent for Liverpool Football Club. That really does surprise me. But the fact that we're not able to bring on youngsters to a calibre that they're good enough for our team, we need to look at that. Why is that? Because other teams are doing it, so why can't we? So for me, that is a concern. But Kev, you're absolutely right. As we go into this campaign, even if the Barcola deal happens and is it Mbaye or however it's pronounced comes in, those two, they're still not fixing the problems we've got. They're adding to areas we've already got good quality in, if you ask me. All right, Barcola's he is better than Gakpo. But Gakpo looked on fire yesterday, and he was exciting to watch again as well. Iriola's breathed a fresh life into that team, and they're ready to go. They're eager. They're playing with smiles on their faces, and I think they've got a big point to prove. Coming off of winning it 2 years ago to the season we had last season, we all didn't expect that. None of us. So I think all those players have got a point to prove. And the ones who come in last summer, the Vertses, the Isaks, your Kirkeses, we have not seen the very best of those players yet. And I think Iriola will unlock that. I'm excited to go into this season. And I think it's a shame that we are just one or two players short of really challenging Arsenal for that title, because I believe we can do it. I think if Liverpool were to go out and get some cover for Isak and a proper right winger, I'm actually convinced the defence, providing Frimpong doesn't get injured, I'm kind of okay with it, because I think we've got enough in there. Leone will be back after Christmas as well. That's a big help. Tsimikas is decent cover for Kirkes. He can do a job. Hopefully Kirkes stays fit. But for me, it's all about what happens if Isak gets injured. But I do think one or two more names, I think we can challenge for the title. And I did say this on a breakfast show, I think we finished first or second.
First or second?
Yeah. Why not? City's got a new manager. They looked awful in the Charity Shield. Carrick, he done fairly good with United last season. But let's see what they do. Chelsea under Alonso have not had a good pre-season. They're not up and firing yet. We looked way better than... I watched the Chelsea friendly the other day. I can't remember who they were playing. They were terrible. They lost 1-0. There's only one team, I think, in the Premier League that will challenge Arsenal for the title, and I think that's Liverpool. And I mean that seriously.
Well, thanks, guys.
Okay, you know what? I want to challenge. I saw when a challenge for.
Challenge me. I'm here, bruv. Challenge me.
You know what? I mean, I was deep in thought, and everything that you said, I totally agree. I just feel that Iriola, at this present moment in time, it's all rainbows and roses until all of these competitions start and the media scrutiny happens, and touch wood, it doesn't happen, but we all know injuries happen with every single team. That's
what will write off our season if we go through lots of injuries again, without a doubt.
But also as well,
this is part of the worry about
Yeah. But again, let's see, maybe I'm old school, guys, but loan deals. When Liverpool get loans in, I'm like,
they're not great. Loans are
not great
in general. They're usually injury prone.
Liverpool. Like, I look at loan deals, and again, without being disrespectful, to the lower half of the table teams. I don't look at loan deals for the likes of Arsenal, Chelsea, City. Like, we shouldn't be taking loan. That's just me. Like, yes, I'm being slightly diva-ish. Loan deals for Liverpool is an absolute ludicrous. Absolute ludicrous.
I think it is Arsenal's to lose. And if they do get Victor Osimhen, then it's game over for me. I think they win it hands down. But I honestly think Liverpool is the only team, I think, who can really challenge Arsenal. And if we can go and get those two place positions covered, then I think we stand a damn good chance of giving it a damn good go. I don't see why not. I just look at the teams around us. Look at Chelsea. They're not at our level yet. City, I think, are weaker for losing Rodri. And what's their manager called? His name's Maresca.
Maresca.
Yeah, I think I don't see him making Christmas. I really don't.
So call that one.
So let's bring United into the fold. Let's say United hit the ground running. Okay, yeah, exactly. As they're not going to, but let's say they did. Right? It's Liverpool, mate. Liverpool is the team that will challenge Arsenal. Now, I'm not saying it's going to be easy. I think Arsenal have the most complete team in the Premier League, and I think they've strengthened well. And if they do go and get that striker who can get them 20 goals a season, then the title's theirs. But they don't have that striker yet. We do. We've got the strike force. Our problem is whether we can keep that team fit. So I'm going into this season optimistic. And remember, it's only 2 seasons ago we won the Premier League.
Yeah. Very true.
Okay.
I think the only names I'd kind of throw in there that we don't really speak about is Aston Villa. They've quietly gone about another solid pre-season. They've kept Demi Martinez as well, who I think is really important for them. I believe they've also got the Japanese goalkeeper, International Suzuki, who was set to join PSG. So another good caliber player. I'm really impressed with Unai Emery as well there. And I don't know why, but Spurs are intriguing to me. They spent a lot of money, they've got a new manager in. So they could be another one that surprises everyone because they've had 2 really poor seasons on the bounce. And with De Zerbi at the helm, you just never know, they could turn it around. But I kind of see your point. I'm just really nervous about our squad. And I think maybe I was burnt by last season. I still got the hangover from it.
Well,
so
don't get me wrong, we are right to be nervous.
Yeah.
Like I said, 1 or 2 in. Let's face it, if Van Dijk gets injured in the first 6 weeks, it's game over if it's a serious one. There's our title gone. If Isak gets injured for a couple of months, there's the title gone. If those players can stay fit, but there's still 2 weeks of a transfer window. Someone might happen yet, and this Bezos thing's happening, and I know there's been reports saying it doesn't affect the transfer strategy for this window, but you're going to say that, aren't you? Because you don't want your targets to go up in price just because Bezos is now owning 30% of the club. So I wouldn't be surprised if that gets signed off this week, and then there's a few marquee signings to say, hey, we're part of the Liverpool family. I'm clutching at straws here, but you never know. You never know.
Clutching. You are absolutely, Paul. You are absolutely clutching.
I've got to give something for our listeners to cling on to.
It is ridiculous. You know what?
Jalise are coming to the door next week. He's going to have to apologise.
So, I mean, you know what? I mean, I know, again, this is Kincaid's question. And you know what? Like, the more I think about it, it's a great question. Do you actually think, like, hand on heart, that our first team can challenge Arsenal's first team? I don't think so.
As it stands, without them with a 20 ago, yes. Yeah, I do.
Hey.
Yeah. They're not as good as you think they are. They're solid and they're hard to break down, and they don't let in many goals. But going forwards, they're not that great. If they go and get a decent striker, then yeah, it's game over. But they don't have that striker yet, and until they don't do that, we've got to go to Newcastle and get something.
Yeah.
Okay.
I tell you what, let's reevaluate this at the back end of October, see where we are. But I think the first 5 or 6 fixtures have been very kind to Liverpool, and I think they're all winnable. So let's see where we are. But yeah, like I say, why not? Why can't we go and challenge? Well, it's only 2 years ago we won the Premier League. Remember that. But anyway, Kev, are you happy that we move on? Yeah.
Yeah. It's sparked up a few opinions that I didn't expect.
Tell you what, I did put a lot of vodka in this orange juice.